Hi, and welcome to Paper Route Scrapbooking. I'm Nadine, and today I'm going to give a little bonus content on what's one more way we can use up some of our class kits. Okay, so I wanted to talk about one more way that I like to use up my class kits. And the reason I left it to the end is partly because this wasn't like a full-on class with instructions and whatnot. It was just a little make and take during the Crop and Create Delivered 2020. And it was by Creative Memories, and they gave us this ephemera pack in our goodie bag. And then they did a video, I think it was like a lunch and learn or something to that effect, on using these ephemera to create border strips. So we created a whole bunch of border strips with the ephemera pack. Now, as you can see, there's some leftover ephemera in here. And what I did with the border strips that we made is I started some base pages. So base pages are basically exactly what they sound like. So it's just a page. There's nothing on it. There's no photos. There's no journaling. It's just a page. And it's kind of nice to have a few of these in your scrapbook stash to just be able to like do some quick scrapbooking. So like if I wanted to come into my space but I didn't have really a lot of brain power, maybe I could grab a couple of these base pages and just like pick some photos that go with them. Or maybe if there's photos already with them, then I can start mounting the photos. So it just kind of gives you like a starting point. So my base pages in this instance, some of them have little titles on them, like this one says Our Adventures, and the colors and the title might give me an idea of what I'm looking for as I sort through my photos and pick something. So I am going to show you the base pages that I made, and I think I might have shown these before. So here is, I think maybe in the intro video. So here's the first one, and what I did was I took these border strips that we had made with Creative Memories in our Lunch and Learn, and I just went through I have a wire rack of scrapbooking paper that's just for well, not the whole rack, but I think the top half of the rack is just like what I would call background papers. So I took kind of one from each category. So this category of background papers was corrugated backgrounds. So I chose a corrugated background that coordinated with the tag on my border strip. And then I added some thread to this to make it a little bit of, add a little bit of interest. So that's my base page. I would probably put some photos here and some journaling maybe along. It would be nice to have like a journaling block on this base strip down here. This one I took from the wood grain category of background pages, and I just added this border strip that we created during our Lunch and Learn, and added a little bit of twine from my own stash. So there's that one. And then this one is a Swiss dot, so it's basil cardstock, but it's in a Swiss dot. So these dots that you're seeing are embossed. They are not just a pattern. But I really like these embossed Swiss dots by Basil for background papers. And then I just added this border strip that we had created during our Lunch and Learn. I don't know if you can see that better. Okay, and then I chose a brick background. So I have a whole category on my wire rack that is, they're not all brick. They're like different textures. So some of them are like stone or marble or that kind of thing. So that's this one, and then this is the border strip that I added along the bottom. And see how they all have like a little saying on them, sunshiny day, obviously awesome story. Now this one has no title or no wording, so that leaves it a little bit more open-ended. But these are the kinds of things that are going to give me like an idea of where do I want to look for my photos, right? And then this is just a scrap leftover from, or not a scrap, but a 12 by 12 leftover that I was using this Creative Memories paper as my border pieces. And it's double-sided. So here you can see I used the plaid side, like that. And here you can see I used the, I don't know what that's called, scallop, maybe, side. So that was the paper I was using. So I kept the other sheet of it. I had 2 sheets of it, and I kept the other sheet of it for mounting photos and stuff on these layouts. So that's that. And then this one, I had put 2 border pieces on the same sheet. Now this is Bow Bunny double dot cardstock. It is not embossed. It's just basically a pattern sheet. There's dots on this side, and then this side is just like a, kind of looks like a regular cardstock, but it's got some like distressing in it. And it looks like this one, I at some point had decided to add photos. So this has no journaling, no real like embellishing, but it's pretty good start to creating a layout. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go through these now and find photos for all of them. And yeah, use up these base pages. So we talked about in our Class Kit Crush series that we can use our class kits scraps in a variety of ways, right? Make more layouts, make more cards, put together some Frankenstein pages if you don't have a full 12 by 12, take more classes, right? If we have leftover classes or a backup of classes on our computer or on various websites, or there's lots of free classes if you search YouTube. Vicki Boutin has some, Allison Davis has some. So take more classes, make a mini album, and then the other way to use up some of those class kits is to make some base pages, right? Okay, so I will add some photos to these. I'm not sure if I'm going to finish the layouts completely today, but I will have some still shots of the completed layouts at the end. I will pause the camera here and put some photos on here and come back and show you my progress. All right, so when I'm working with base pages like this, I like to pull out a few. And in this case, I'm just going to work with all the ones I made with these, with this make and take. And I like to just do what I call batch scrapbooking. And I know I've heard that term online. I don't know who coined it, but it's a common one. So just like making a batch of cookies, you make more than one cookie at a time. Here I'm going to make batch scrapbooking layouts, so I'm going to make a whole bunch at a time. So I pulled out, as you saw, the 4, well, there's 5 layouts to go with this group of layouts where I made these border strips and then added them to paper. And then this one already had photos on it, so at some point I had the inclination to add photos, but these ones didn't. So I just laid them all out on the floor, and I'm sorry about the weird angle, but I just wanted to show you kind of how this goes. I laid them out on the floor, and then I pulled out my box of photos. These are photos that I've batch printed, so like I do print at home. I have a Epson PictureMate 400, but if I go on a trip or if we have a big event, so like you know, here was like the first few months of Amelia's life, so they were all batch printed. Quentin's birthday month, we had so many photos batch printed. So I usually print at London Drugs. They're the best 1-hour photo lab in my city, so that's where I go. And I just kind of look at the mood and feel of the pages, and then I pull a few of these envelopes and decide what I'm going to put on the pages. So this whole process, picking the photos themselves, took about 5.5 minutes, and then finding cardstock to match to mount my photos on probably took the longest because I was trying to match the cardstock colors with the background. So this is just white, that was easy, but I wanted this one to be this burnt orange color and a gray. So finding the right gray turned out to be a bit of a challenge. The burnt orange was easy. This one I didn't really need to mount my photos, but once I put them on, I wanted something across the top. So I went looking for the green that coordinates with what's here. And then this one I used a similar green and the gray again. So it was just matching up the colors. That took a little bit of time, but it took less than a half an hour to find the photos and cut the photos down. I only cut these ones down, all the rest stayed 4x6, and then mount them on some cardstock to coordinate and glue them down onto the pages. So that was step number 2, took less than a half an hour, and that was all I did that day. So that was like last night, kind of before I went to bed. It was just something I decided to do before I went to bed. And then my next step is going to be, so then here's the 5th layout that already had photos on it. And my next step is going to be to go through this embellishment pack, what's left of it, and decide what's going to go on what layout. I feel like in terms of titles, I have titles on most of the pages. So this one says Sunshiny Day, obviously Awesome Story, Our Adventures, but this one has nothing. So I was kind of looking through the what was already here, and I found this that says like Love This or Happy Life, or I might even do Love This Happy Life, and then they'll all have titles on them without me having to go dig through stickers and thickers and titling options and that sort of thing. And then just putting these onto the pages to embellish the layouts will be next. And then I will go onto my computer and type up my journaling and print all of the journaling for all 5 layouts on one 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock and glue that down. So that's my plan, and I will come back and show you my progress. Okay, so I added all of those extra embellishments to my layouts. I also added a title to this one because I wanted it to say something specific about my story, and I didn't feel like the 2 things here were quite enough, but I like them as subtitles. So I pulled out a couple of fonts and did that. I did some of my journaling right on to the embellishments that we had, so there were some nice tags in there, and so that took a little bit of extra time as well. This one also has journaling right down on the tag. So I again laid them all out and took the embellishment pack and laid out what I wanted on each one, and then I kind of stacked them so that the extra embellishments were laid on them and they stacked neatly. And then I took one at a time and I glued things down and added some enamel dots as just a little bit of a finishing touch. And on some of them I did wood veneers. This one, because the story was about these food carts, I grabbed some stickers that I had from the Chamel Sparkle City collection, and I added some of those little food stickers that she has in that one, and used the same twine on every page that I added twine to, so that was nice and simple. This one has wood veneer as well as enamel dots. Then I got some wood veneer on this one as well, added a couple more to cover up the seam on my border punch. This one I journaled on the tag, added one more little bit there, and then like I said, I wanted a different title for this one, so I added that. This one I journaled right on the tag before I adhered it, and then added some wood veneer and enamel dots in some clusters, and I'm really happy how those turned out. So it took me about, like I said, about half an hour to get the photos down. And then it took me about, I would say, an hour and 15 to add all of the embellishments, including like because some of them I wanted printing on, so that took a little bit longer. And then pulling out what finishing touches I wanted on there as well took a little bit of time, because I didn't use the same ones for every layout. This one I used pink, this one I used the green, turquoise-ish, I don't know what you would even call that color. This one I used gray and some brown, used a little variety on this one, and then the wood veneer. But for these three here, I did print all of the journaling together and printed it out, and it was super fast. So I think, and I didn't do it all at once, but I think I maybe spent 2 hours adding all of that stuff, and I got 5 layouts. So in 2.5 hours, 5 layouts with my base pages is really kind of gets you back into that groove of scrapbooking. So it's a good thing to have on hand, is some base pages to you know, just have to grab when you're not feeling super inspired, and you already have a starting point. So I'm just going to quickly grab, behind me I have another pack that has some base pages in it, just to show you again what that kind of looks like. And it's basically when I get to the end of something, whether it's this was just a paper pack from Stampin' Up, and I just took the leftovers that I had after using the pages in the way that they, you know, had given instructions for, and I made, did I just make 2? I thought I made 3. Was there another one? Yeah, there is another one. And then just adding some, you know, and this one I had extra cardstock, so I made photo mats, which can be a little bit more limiting, but can also be a little bit more, give you a little bit more direction when you go to pull photos or print photos. So base pages are a really good thing to have on hand for when you kind of lose your mojo or feel like you need to get some scrapbooking done quickly. So I hope you enjoyed my series, Class Kit Crush, and the things that we talked about: making more layouts, making cards, making Frankenstein pages, taking more classes, making a mini book, making some base pages. I hope that you are able to finish some of those class kits that you have on hand and use them up and make room for new things in your scrapbook stash. And I think that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please click that like button to give me a thumbs up. If you would like to see more of my videos, it would make my day to have you as a subscriber. Just click the subscribe button and be sure to hit that notification bell if you want to be notified when a new video goes up. Have a great day, everyone.